Bonjour and welcome to Possessive Adjectives Part 2. As we discussed in the previous video, possessive adjectives modify nouns by telling us who the noun belongs to. And as you recall, en français, adjectives must agree in gender and number with the nouns they modify. So by gender, we mean masculine, feminine, and by number, we mean singular or plural. So we have to have the correct form of the adjective for each noun. Okay, so previously we learned how to say my, ma, mon, mes, and your for informal, so ta, ton, tes. And now you'll learn how to say his or her, which you should think of as being the same thing. His or her is the same. And the words for that are sa, son, and ses. So hopefully you see the pattern there again. Sa for feminine, just like ma or ta or la. And son for masculine, and ses for plural, just like les, mes, tes, or les. All of those are the plural. So the difference here between his and her from when you learned my and your is that it does the same thing and it works the same way, but there's a little complication from our own language, because in English there's a distinction between his or her. In English, we'll say, this is his house, and we use the word his, signifying that this house belongs to, this man that we've been talking about, his house. In English, when we say her house, we mean, it belongs to this woman. So that's how it works in English, but that's not how it works in French. Remember that in French, we looked at the noun that you're trying to talk about, who's, this is the aunt, right? So when we said it's my aunt, we said ma tante. Your aunt, ta tante. Now, if we want to say it's his aunt, we're going to say sa tante. But also, if we were to say her aunt, we would also say sa tante. That is because tante is feminine. That is what matters, that the noun that the possessive adjective modifies, if that's feminine, then you're going to use the feminine form. So you're going to say sa tante, whether it's his aunt or her aunt. It's always going to be sa tante, because tante will always be a feminine noun. Okay? Let's look at le cadeau. Le cadeau, this is a masculine singular noun. Now, whether you were going to say this is his gift or her gift, either way, it would be son cadeau. Here I've got Julie. This cadeau, this gift, belongs to Julie. Okay, fine. Then it's her gift, son cadeau. But if it belonged to Mark, it would still be son cadeau. And in that case, it would be translated his gift. Okay? So it's very important that you remember you're looking at the noun that's being modified by the possessive adjective. That is how you determine, the form of the possessive adjective to use. Not by thinking about who it belongs to, but by looking at the noun itself. Okay, so we have plural cadeau here, and we're going to say these are Mark's gifts. By the way, they do not have an apostrophe S to show possession in French. You could not say, for example, Mark's tante or Julie's cadeau. That is not French. You would have to say la tante de Marc, or le cadeau de Julie, or les cadeaux de Marc, in order to say Mark's gifts. So here we've got Mark's gifts, plural. We're going to say his gifts. That would be ses cadeaux. Ses, because the cadeau, the gifts, are plural. So that's why we use the plural form of his or her. Okay? Now, whether they are Mark's gifts or Julie's gifts, either way, it is ses cadeaux, because the cadeaux are plural. Okay, now we come to the word for friend. We discussed this with the ma, mon, mes, and the ta, ton, tes. But if we want to say the friend, and this is a male friend, we're going to say son ami. And if it is a female friend, we're also going to say son ami, because ami begins with a vowel. Okay. All right, so at this time I'd like for you to pause the video and try to work out these noun phrases using the new possessive adjectives ça, son, or c'est, and then resume the video to check your answers when you're finished. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to answer these 11 problems, and these are the correct answers. You want to take a second to make sure you got all of those right, or you might want to take a minute to review the video if you missed some. But there you have it. That is Possessive Adjectives Part 2.